How can I tell him in a way that he'll understand that every second he remains here, he's electing to kill himself? How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself? I suppose I can't, not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose. I'll try once more to convey all this to him. I'm compelled to. I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button.
What the fuck?
I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried.
Oh my god. One of the... I can't share my screen on PS5. I'm streaming it. Yeah. Like if I was on PC then I'd be able to, but I can't.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, your shit might be delayed though. Fuck, man. Share screen. I don't... See if you can... No, never mind. Okay, well, it doesn't... Yeah, share screen doesn't work. So you just have to, like, watch my stream.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer. Oh no, no, not again. I won't be part of this. I'm not going to encourage you. I'm not going to say anything at all. I'm just going to be patient and wait for you to finish whatever it is you enjoy doing so much in this room. Please take your time.
Here, do you want me to mute myself on... Oh wait, no, if I mute myself on Discord, then you won't be able to hear me through YouTube.
Delete game.
Alright, bro.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley
walked
walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You literally like this game.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy.
Oh, wait,
All
no.
of my coworkers
Oh, no.
blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single
Oh, I've already
moment
done
for
this
no
one,
reason at all.
and I fucking forgot.
None of it made any logical sense. And as Stanley pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his...
Yeah, okay, alright. You know what, I'll finally listen. I'll finally listen to what this man has to say.
I can't wait to tell this story to my co-workers, Stanley thought. How amusing they'll find it. Oh, won't we all just laugh and laugh at the time I thought everyone had gone missing?
Yeah, interesting.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
I did enter the door on my left.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief,
No
Stanley
way.
decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his
Have you
boss's
actually
office.
cleared this game?
No, this is my first time playing it. I've seen like walkthroughs. Oh. Because the boss knows what the boss says goes. If the boss suffered losses, then that's what the boss chose. What? Like I've watched like a playthrough, but even then I didn't really like pay attention. Oh.
Wow.
Okay, how long does this go up for? Oh. And I'm back at where I just was. Alright, well. That's fine.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I couldn't possibly have known that. Couldn't possibly have known that the passcode's... I already forgot it.
Stanley
so.
just sat around twiddling his thumbs.
Yep.
Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845.
I could not possibly know that it's 5284. Yeah.
2845.
5376. Yep. Couldn't have possibly known. I'm gonna do this.
Forgot, but it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in, and the door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Bro.
I couldn't have possibly known. He said it himself. What the fuck? Should I use this elevator? I feel like I should use the elevator. Oh, okay. Wait, never mind. Yep, I'm gonna use the elevator. I thought there was like a path down that way.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
But what about escape? Oh my goodness. I want to do escape though. I'm gonna do escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death. The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
You said I was gonna be violently murdered?
At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
My death? Oh. Yeah, alright. Oh, okay. No, we're not gonna do that. think I'm good. I don't need to die. I'm good. He's probably gonna say some BS though.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
Fair enough. You got me there. Lights!
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Do I have the strength to find out? No fucking clue.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it.
Wait,
His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible?
You cooked.
Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Okay, just making sure I hit the right one. Because it all seemed very off. It all seemed very off, so I don't know if I wanted to turn it on, then turn it off, but...
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes! He had won! He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp? What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Let me out.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
That's it? That's the game? Oh my god. Okay, so the most basic answer is the shortest one. Yeah, of course I'm not gonna fucking listen to him.
Someone was following Stanley. He was sure of it. If he checked over his shoulder now, he would surely catch them. It was only a matter of time.
God. Makes me like paranoid.
When Stanley came to a
Hello.
set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of
Talk less, do
disbelief,
unbelievably
Stanley
amazing
decided to
work
go
all the
up to
time,
his
every day
boss's
with no
office,
expectation
hoping
of
he might
promotion.
find an answer there.
That's crazy. I can't go into my fucking broom closet, bro.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Maybe there's a different way. Let's go down. Maybe up isn't the answer. Oh. Okay. Well, that was kind of...
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. What could it mean? Stanley wondered aloud to nobody. He began wildly tearing through papers on the boss's desk, pulling books off the shelf, looking behind paintings, desperate for clues to his situation. But his attention was caught by a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could its purpose be?
I don't know.
In fact, this keypad guarded the terrible secret that lay buried below his feet. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret pin number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
But I did!
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Am I sure? Yeah, there's nothing over here. God damn it. I'm trying to think of like an alternate path I can take. There's one where I just like completely turn on the machine. I'm pretty sure that could be one, because that seemed like an option.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door
Or
that
what
read
if I just
Mind
died?
Control Facility.
What if I took escape? Like
We
if
will
I just...
see.
Alright. Let's do escape.
Although
And
this
we're actually
passageway
gonna
had the
die.
word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Very violent.
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley was making a conscious, concerted effort to walk forward and willingly confront his death.
Yep. Ready to die. Whoa. Okay. Oh. I thought I was gonna die.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley was inched closer and closer to his demise, he
not the
reflected
good
that
guy.
his life had been of no consequence whatsoever. Stanley can't see the bigger picture. He doesn't know the real story, trapped forever in his narrow vision of what this world is. Perhaps his death was of no great loss, like plucking the eyeballs from a blind man. And so he resigned and willingly accepted this violent end to his brief and shallow life.
That's not what I wanted.
Farewell, Stanley.
Oh my god. Wait, no, please don't do this. Please don't do this. Oh.
"Farewell, Stanley," cried the narrator, as Stanley was led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws.
What the
In a
fuck?
single visceral instant, Stanley was obliterated as the machine crushed every bone in his body, killing him instantly.
But I'm alive. Wait, no, it's over. Okay, wait, hold on. Never mind. Okay, I thought that was a missing bar or something.
And yet it would be just a few minutes before Stanley would restart the game, back in his office, as alive as ever. What exactly did the narrator think he was going to accomplish?
I'm not sure.
When every path you can walk has been created for you long in advance, death becomes meaningless. making life the same. Do you see now? Do you see that Stanley was already dead from the moment he hit start?
What the fuck? Oh, yeah, I gotta turn them off. Turn them off. The fuck is that? The button sounds, they don't even do anything. Is this just like a museum for the Stanley Parable? Warzone. Wait, what? Oh. Huh. The apartment timer. I'm missing like so much though. Wait, what? Oh my god.
You got stuck?
Maybe?
Oh, look at these two. How they wish to destroy one another. How they wish to control one another. How they both wish to be free.
What?
Can you see? Can you see how much they need one another? No, perhaps not. Sometimes these things cannot be seen.
What am I missing?
But listen to
Wait,
me.
no.
You can still save these two. You can stop the program before they both fail. Turn off your PlayStation. There's no other way to beat this game. As long as you move forward, you'll be walking someone else's path. Stop now and it'll be your only true choice. Whatever you do, choose
I'm not gonna
it.
close it.
Don't
I'm
let
streaming.
time choose for you.
I'm streaming.
Don't let...
Oh fuck. Oh, okay. I was gonna say maybe I had to actually like restart my game. Okay. How did she know I was on PlayStation?
Yes, that's where everyone would be. Stanley just needed to get to the meeting room.
Yay,
and from
I will
then on,
subscribe
he would
and
never
like
be
your
alone
channel.
Ever again.
Oh my god. Oh, new content. Hello.
Oh,
Keep
new
playing.
content? What does that mean, new content?
Yeah, what does new content mean? I didn't even get the other choice. This is weird.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Yeah, let's see it.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure. Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go.
Oh, there we
All
go.
right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
Okay.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if, Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley. All right, let's see. It's the jump circle.
Oh yeah. Jumping. Gonna use all the jumps. Gonna use all the fucking jumps. Oh. Oh shit.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Another elevator.
Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
All right. Okay.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's trophies, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test trophy, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content, I'm afraid. It could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about.
That
No
short ass
frills,
fucking story.
no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always. What do you say, friend?
Okay. Here we go again. Oh. This is way off.
Psst! Stanley! Come over here! In the vent! I want to show you something! Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dog. Oh, never mind. You're not a dog.
Alright. Okay, what was that for?
Okay,
Dang.
you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look. I call it the Memory Zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC. You see, Stanley, doesn't the Memory Zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap PlayStation port?
Okay.
Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched? Back then, video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste. And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote, "Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim, it was Persona 3, it was all of them, and now it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk now. A lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
What's down here? Oh, okay. I'm not gonna lie, I never played the first one or the original one.
Here's another moving passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect. It didn't need anything else. It didn't need new content. All they had to do was transport it in pristine condition along to the PlayStation. Boom, done. And they couldn't even do that. Couldn't resist the urge to go meddling with a beloved franchise. These were simpler times, Stanley. What I wouldn't give to go back, to have it all over again.
The serious room, what the fuck? Okay. Oh, it's open now.
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here? Oh no, oh God, no, Stanley. It's a collection of reviews from Pressurized Gas, the extremely popular online storefront for computer games. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here. Surely these reviews were glowing as well, weren't they? Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! Funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
Crazy.
I'm funny. God, I can't even do that.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I? You can tell me if I'm preachy. Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with. You can't know how much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well, I always thought it did, but maybe it wasn't. Dear, what an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks are my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure, like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered. What's this one got to say? You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening.
Damn.
I wish there was a skip button. A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt. Not if it means we can strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable. That's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
Okay.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people, and if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices.
Yeah, Good, skip it.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games. Of course, I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more...
Nope. God, no.
Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you? But that's the power of the button. The minute I start to go off on a thoughtless display of self-absorption, it's right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their pressurized gas review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest, I don't even know if one can change their review in the first place. I guess I should become better educated on how exactly pressurized gas works. Perhaps that would have been a smart thing to check on.
You're gonna fucking...
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes? It's not... Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really... Oh, Stanley, you're back. You're back.
Shit.
Oh, my goodness. I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I think it's been a week. Or 2 weeks. I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
What the fuck?
Would you think that it's exactly the same as always?
No, you're gonna... Dude, what a rambler.
Oh, hello. It's you. You're here again. Welcome.
Well,
I
thank you.
have had time to think about you and about us and about everything we've been through. I've had so much time. I stopped keeping track after a year. Have you ever sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year? Let me describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days.
Does he have no... Oh, shit. Oh, he might be dead. Oh, no. Oh, no. He might actually be dead. Hold on. He might be dead.
But they didn't understand that
Oh,
game was
shit.
never
Nope.
meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic...
Okay, he was gone, then he came back, then he's gone. Alright. Still isn't here.
The end is never the end, 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 is never the end.
Oh my god. I think he might be losing his mind. Oh shit. Okay. Well, that's nice at least. At least there's some sun in here. Okay. That's pretty nice. That's colorful.
Plants.
Plants, yeah, plants. Ah, they're dead. Oh, the plants are dead. Oh my god, it's creepy as fuck now. Hell no. Hell no. Give me the fucking skip button.
Face blue smiling. Text green game over. Text green game over.
Oh
Text
my
green
God.
game over. Text green game over. Text green game over. Text green game over. Text GR.
What the fuck?
Face fuchsia poop shape. Face fuchsia poop shape. Face fuchsia
Fuck.
poop shape. Face fuchsia
Oh
poop
my
shape.
God.
Face fuchsia poop shape. Face fuchsia pee.
How far do I gotta walk out? Okay. Alright, back at it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
New content? Alright, fine.
Oh, good. You noticed my sign. Yes,
I did.
I have something very exciting to show you.
Oh my god. This thing better not be ass.
New content.
Yeah, new content.
Hell yeah.
Oh, it's a fucking elevator. Hopefully this is a little bit faster.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy. So forget this ultra deluxe nonsense.
Oh my
I
God.
say we take it
Holy
one
shit.
step even further. Which is why I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh.
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly port with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many
Taste
different
the
directions.
sequel.
This is what fans have truly been asking for.
Okay.
Calling it the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe, don't you think? Ultra Deluxe? What does
They're
it
back
even mean?
tours.
But the Stanley Parable 2, now that's an artistic statement right there. It's future-oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential. Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really. Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
A button that says the name of the player that is playing the game? I don't know if I want to know that.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course,
Lolig.
the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button, which... Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience
No
of this
way.
feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a
Jim.
deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want...
Jim.
Whoa, hold on. I wasn't finished setting up the backstory.
Oh,
if
shit.
you don't properly
Okay.
roleplay as Jim, then you'll never understand the impact of this button. Otherwise, it's just a stupid button that says somebody else's name.
That's
Okay,
basically
we're
what
doing
it
it
is.
again, and this time let me
That's
finish
what it is.
first.
Jim Hardy.
Nay,
now,
now.
allow yourself to become Jim.
Jim.
All right, fine, whatever. It's just a meaningless button that says Jim. Are you happy now? Get
Yes.
out here. I'm done with this button. Why don't you go humiliate me in front of a different feature that I worked very hard on?
Bro, why does it only say Jim? Last time I checked, my name is not Jim.
Maybe I'll only let people named Jim play the Stanley Parable too.
Oh my god.
An epilogue would be fun, wouldn't it, Stanley? Yes, it will go at the end of the, well, we'll figure that out later.
Okay.
Jim the Dark Wolf.
Hey now. Oh, what's this? Settings World Champion? Okay. Oh, okay, of course not. Let's go to free trophy. Pull the lever, receive the trophies.
Hand orange
Here's
covering
something
eyes,
special.
hand
You
orange
remember that
covering
brilliant
eyes,
test
hand
trophy
orange
that got
covering
left
eyes,
in the game
hand
on
orange
accident?
covering eyes,
Well, I'm
hand orange
developing a
covering
technology
eyes,
to simply
hand.
give you the trophy. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it... Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist.
Oh my
Right
god.
now, the trophy is still fully broken. I'm not a wizard, Stanley, but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature. Gamers, we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Give me my trophy, bro. Come on. You can't sit there and say that and be like, oh yeah, no, here's your trophy, fucking liar. It's fine. Let's
What
go to
else?
let's
What
go to
other
the
exhibits
infinite
haven't we
hole.
seen yet?
Jump circle. It's back. Oh, and it's fucking...
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
You could have just gave me more jumps. Infinite hole. Oh, infinite hole. What is this? No, please, no screenshots. 2-2.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Get well someday. Oh, okay. Wait. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along. Happy
Aw.
12th birthday, step-niece, it is.
Bruh. That's so lame. What the fuck is the point?
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No, I've made my decision, we're moving on.
No, really?
No
Did you?
trophy for idiot.
Did he really make up his decision?
Come now, you've already made your choice.
Come on.
It's true that you chose badly, but we
No,
all
I
have to move on
didn't.
from our mistakes.
Get well someday is not a bad one. Oh my god. Where's my infinite hole at? Reassurance bucket! Let's do a bucket. I want to see the bucket.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic
no
sense
bucket.
of reckless despair in those who played it.
There's
well,
no bucket.
I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance
Oh, there's
Bucket.
the bucket.
You see, Stanley, anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes, the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Bucket.
Can
What?
you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face of crushing despair, must already be sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well?
Oh, really?
I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person. The benefits of the bucket
My
seem to go
aura.
on and on, don't they? All this and more await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Okay, I got a bucket now.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game? That really should be an award if it isn't already.
Let me. Come on. You know, You know you wanted to. You know you want to switch it, but it's fine. I'm gonna just go to the infinite hole like I said I was originally gonna do.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is in fact a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a You see? Isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top,
Yeah, no, I got
and
a
we can
bucket.
continue onward.
Nah, I'm not gonna
So
return.
amazing.
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Nope.
Okay, Stanley, I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole.
This
Is it a
motherfucker
very
lied to
deep
me.
hole? To be certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want anyone to say that it isn't an astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity.
God.
From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants to fall infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep as anyone would actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem. Look, things got a little heated there. I think we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the hole mostly infinite? If that works for you, then
Nope.
go ahead and press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready. Great. Now, I'm very excited. Oh, for heaven. You see, I was right. The problem is you.
Let's get to the
The problem
bottom.
is that you
Right,
like
yeah.
holes too much. Not normal. A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time.
my God.
Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean, admittedly, I didn't make an infinite hole, but I didn't think it was that not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me up above. Had enough?
Right.
I'm
Here we
positively
go.
thrilled. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing where... Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Woohoo ow.
I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite. I suspect that I'm starting to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability in marketing. What's going on here? Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
Alrighty.
There it is.
Oh.
The shame. How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge?
Oh
You
my
just
God.
do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport
I just
button
want to go
when
in
you're
the
ready to
hole.
move on.
I just want to go in the hole.
Is the
Teleport button's not working.
teleport button not working?
Oh no.
You sure? Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. Still nothing?
Live content.
Yeah, I know,
I
right?
suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley.
hey!
You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be
Hey.
with the hole, I get to do literally anything else. Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole
That's
have a
fucked
wonderful
up.
rest of eternity together.
That's fucked up. What the fuck? Alright, well. What the fuck? Come on, hole. I know you're more than just a floor. I know you're more than just a hole. You're my hole. Yeah! See? That's what happens when you're nice. What the fuck? This is a good hole.
Play your hole.
Good hole. A. Oh. Bow, 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 bow. What the fuck is this space, bro? Oh my god. Perception. I love my hole. I love my hole.
You're no longer using up the space of mine.
Oh shit.
My head's stronger. You're no longer.
Oh shit. Oh wait, what am I now? What the fuck? What? Oh my god. Oh my god. That is creepy as hell. What the fuck? This is perfect. This one.
This is crazy.
What? Hey, yo.
Stanley!
Huh?
Oh, good, you're awake.
Oh, no way.
You had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland.
Oh
But we
my
can't
god,
have
I
that,
thought
Stanley,
the hole was a
because this
miracle.
hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for
I
every
thought the
second of
fucking
it.
hole was a
You
miracle.
don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time
Oh
and
my
wake you
God.
up to keep you really, truly focused on the hole?
No,
From the looks
I-
of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole.
Why does
and
this
I'm
dude
looking
want me in
forward to
this
all
hole?
of them. Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
Do I get to go again? Oh yeah, baby. Take me down again. Oh, okay, never mind. Well, shit. That sucks.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
Alright, can I vote now? Can I vote again? Of course not. Come on.
WTF.
Yeah, I know, right? Ugh. Oh my god, what is this?
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them.
Wow.
I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy of watching a number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
Alright, I got 1 out of 6. Okay, collect them all.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
This dude's just like tripping dick. Mostly infinite hole now is crazy. Well, is that all the features? Okay, well, I got my bucket. That's all that matters. Alright, time to exit. Oh, wait, it's over here. Silly me. It's pretty
All
cool,
right,
man.
have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Yeah, I'm ready to move on. That was pretty lame. All fake. Oh.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work.
No,
There's
it's
definitely a
not.
good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay, are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh, no.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of...
Wait, there's a
Okay, never mind.
collectible. Wait, no,
Hold
give
on.
me.
Let me do a different
I
arrangement.
saw you stream Fortnite, so you do play it.
Oh my
This is
god, I
much
didn't
better. I feel
stream
good about
Fortnite. I
this.
used
Here we
to.
go. Version 2.
I want that
Who
collectible.
am I kidding, Stanley? This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything. I wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would capture all the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well,
New
insert
content,
a few
face
of my new
turquoise
features
covering eyes.
tastefully, of course, with respect,
Right.
with care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work? I suppose it could. But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2." Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go
Stanley
ahead.
Parable 2.
Take a look.
Alright, let's see. Let's see it. Oh shit. I love it. Begin. Let's do it.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a
Oh my
company in a
God,
big
fuck
building
these
where he
balloons.
was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-eating, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened.
Okay.
Something that would forever change Stanley.
Okay.
Something he would never quite forget.
Okay.
He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Okay. Maybe I missed the
Stanley
memo.
felt the bucket calling to him, begging him to pick it up. Why was he
Bucket?
not doing it?
What bucket? Where? Where's my bucket? Bucket. Oh,
Stanley
bucket.
picked up the bucket.
Yes, I did.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
I want to see if it's gonna be different.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room,
It's whatever.
but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him,
My
telling
bucket.
him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was. How insightful the bucket turned out to be.
Yep. It's me and my bucket. In the room.
Truly, being here with the bucket was a grand adventure. Stanley reflected on all they'd been through together. First, walking through the door on the right. Then walking to the lounge. Then arriving at the lounge. What a thrilling journey the bucket had inspired.
What a journey.
Perhaps this was where the bucket felt most truly at home. Here in the employee lounge. Perhaps it's the only place a bucket can even feel at home.
Okay.
Stanley decided to just give the bucket absolutely as much time as it needed to be in the lounge. Clearly, the bucket and the employee lounge shared a special connection.
Alright, yeah. No, I'm not gonna wait for that.
But finally, the bucket was done being in the lounge, and they took the first open door on their left to get back to business.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Okay.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of
Collectible!
course, because
No!
buckets can talk. But Stanley chose not to
My
think about this obvious
collectible!
fact. He was firmly convinced that the
Fuck.
bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Wait. Oh my god, there's like so many alternate paths I can take.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Going into the dark room. Oh no.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
Pick up the phone and it will take us back home, where we can go about life together.
Okay.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Oh.
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
Wait. Where's my bucket? Where's my bucket? Where's my fucking bucket? Bucket. Oh, okay.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head.
Wow.
I know, right?
Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Me and my bucket.
Well, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me?
Bucket.
Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location.
You
That's
shouldn't
it.
have added
It
bucket.
doesn't do anything else.
Bucket's my best friend.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Man, my bucket. Bucket. Just me and my
Sad.
bucket.
I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it.
It does have a nice shine. You believe I'm real, don't you, Stanley? Press that to take me back, to go back home. Yeah.
Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket.
Yeah.
It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Press the data to relieve the same day with me over and over and over. Oh, God.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Oh, no.
I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes, the bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Oh, no.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give
No.
it to me. Give me the bucket,
No,
Stanley.
you can't
I
have
need
this
it.
fucking
Give it to
bucket,
me
man.
now. Give it, or
I can't Okay. Bucket, hold me. Go back to work. Is my bucket still there? Do I still have my bucket? Where's my bucket?
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all.
Bucket!
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. Here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct?
No, we're not gonna do that dialogue.
Never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
Gimme.
You found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done. You can't buy that sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and
How's it
every
going?
moment you come across one of these
It's going
beautiful
okay.
figurines.
You left the Discord. Alright, just me and my bucket.
Oh wait.
There you go. Oh. What is this?
Okay.
There we
This is
go.
day number 295. Tape number... I don't even know. I've lost track. Nothing feels real anymore. The longer I study this bucket, the less sense anything makes.
Why are we studying a bucket?
Sheer euphoria I feel every time I pick it up. No matter how many times I've done it, it's always the same feeling. And the emptiness in my chest when I set it down
Bucket, 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 bucket,
Oh my
bucket,
God.
bucket.
make sense. There's no explanation for it. I still haven't figured out why I see the world so differently when this bucket is in my arms. Why everything feels so... What do I do with this treasure? I can monetize it. Yes.
Huh?
It's unthinkable the amounts of money people will pay for even
What
just
the
an
fuck?
hour with the bucket. This is my golden ticket. But I have to be careful, because as soon as this gets out, there's going to be a target on my back. Even now, I don't know who might be trying to get me. What's that?
Oh no.
Who's there?
Dude's trying to like make a fucking OnlyFans out of the bucket. Who? Okay. Alright. Interesting. Alright, alright. Where's my bucket? Oh, I
Just a step
need
through this
bucket.
door, Stanley thought to
Please.
himself. That's all I need. If I can make it through this door, I can make it through them all. The confusion and the
Bucket.
chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
Gotta grab it
Stanley
every time.
clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room.
No, it
But
wasn't.
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge
No,
was
it
simply the
wasn't.
place to be. And here it
It's
was.
not.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind.
The
bucket was
bucket's wrong.
Stanley took the
Bucket's
door on his
fucking
left
wrong.
to go back to the meeting room.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yeah, good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Nope. What is this?
No, stop. Look there on the wall. You see, there's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you
Where?
think it was okay to
Oh.
bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here.
Is it really though? What? Oh, okay. Alright. Is this a
Now
bucket?
then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios, and you'll tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple
Alright.
enough, right? This
Yeah,
should tell
yeah,
us
yeah.
everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin.
Alright.
Item 1. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Incorrect. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Fuck. Liar.
Item 2. Is this a
Yes. Bucket.
Incorrect.
Huh?
It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an
Wouldn't
actual
that be
bucket.
an actual... Wouldn't that be a bucket? Wouldn't that still be a bucket?
Bucket.
Item 3.
This one's
Is this a
gotta
bucket?
be a bucket.
Correct.
Yeah.
This is a bucket.
See.
Item 4. Is this a bucket?
Yes.
Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one.
I just wanted to make sure.
Is this a bucket?
This is for sure a bucket.
Correct. This is a bucket.
What?
It's a bucket.
Apparently.
Item 6.
This is not a bucket.
Is this a bucket?
It's not a bucket.
Trick question. Both. Gotcha.
How the hell is it both?
Item... Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere.
Okay. Yes, it's a bucket.
Okay. You and I both know there isn't anything here. And I don't appreciate the implication that nothing is a bucket when we both clearly know that a bucket is something. And therefore nothing could possibly be something. Unless, in your twisted mind, have you somehow convinced yourself that a bucket is nothing? Answer me straight, Stanley. Do you believe that nothing is a bucket?
Yes.
You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat adrift. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart.
That's
I
a
can't have
lie.
that. I'm sorry.
He'd never.
But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game.
No!
entirely. Okay. Here we
Don't
go.
do it. No, please, no, don't do it. No. My bucket.
What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea.
What the fuck?
Except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news.
I'm not a
We're
bucket.
not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay?
Yay.
And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Bucket. Give me my bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Bucket.
Warmth spread through Stanley's arms. With the bucket in his arms again, he was
Wait a minute.
home.
Okay, yeah, hold on. I got one more. through the right side.
Stanley
I got one
clutched
more.
the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to
One
the
more,
meeting
one
room.
more, one more,
But
one
Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee
No,
lounge
it's not.
was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned
No.
out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
Bucket was wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Nope.
No,
Said the bucket.
don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
Yes, Bucket. I do whatever you ask, Bucket.
In here, said the bucket. Go into this dark room over here.
Dark
Stanley
room.
once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the...
No.
Oh, hold on. Why did you unplug the phone? Were you trying to resist the bucket's orders? Stanley, I was joking. Obviously, the bucket isn't talking to you and telling you to do things. Buckets can't talk. It was a joke. Don't you get the joke? It's funny, Stanley. A talking bucket. Can't you see? Oh, goodness. I must have really bungled up the delivery if you actually took me seriously. Where did I mess up the joke? Should I have paused for longer or spoken quicker? Comedic timing is so difficult. I wish I were better at it. But there isn't exactly an instructional video on comedy that one can watch to fully... Oh, wait, yes, there is. It's sitting right here. Let's take a look.
How to be funny.
What is comedic timing? What is comedic timing? How does it work? How long should it last? How can it be used to effectively silence your political enemies? And more importantly, can it be taught in its entirety within 90 seconds? Thankfully, the answer to all of these questions is yes. Let's dive deeper. If you've ever told a joke or made someone laugh, in all likelihood, you did it while standing 50 to 80 centimeters from them in a room of no more than 76 degrees Fahrenheit, with one of your arms raised straight upward at a 15-degree angle from your body.
Why?
These are the optimal conditions for good comedic timing. To begin the joke, start by stating and spelling your name. Next, provide a brief synopsis of the joke, including the specific times at which the recipient of the joke will laugh, and then spell out your name a second time. With these steps complete, it's time to begin the humor. Speak the entire joke in no more than 18 seconds and no less than 13 and a half. Pausing only for bathroom breaks when necessary. When the joke has concluded, it is customary to inform your listener that the joke is over by declaring in your loudest possible voice, "I'm Dunny with the funny." Let's practice screaming, "I'm Dunny with the funny" now.
I'm Dunny with the funny! Okay.
Good. This saying is a perfect example of expectations management, which is the cornerstone of good comedy. Finally, it's time to hand out surveys. Collecting hard data from your audience on how rapt they were throughout the joke is the only way to grow or learn as a comedian. An effective survey should be no less than 10 pages long and should include the same question reprinted several times, just to ensure the survey taker is actually paying attention and not simply filling in answers at random. And that's all there is. With these strategies at your disposal, you'll have audiences doubled over in laughter and even tripled over in laughter in no time at all. Just remember to let them stop laughing at some point, you gut-busting little scamp. After all, we're each of us needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. Godspeed, and may Earth reign supreme.
What the fuck?
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back.
Okay.
I can feel it. This time,
I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley. The bucket spoke. The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Okay. Now I have to imagine he raises his hand like... What was it, 15 degrees over his head? Don't know why he needed to do that. I don't even remember what the room temperature was. I don't remember none of that.
Here we go. You
Maybe
ready?
because I'm not funny.
When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone.
Oh,
Did
my
you not
bad.
even look at the instructional video? I think this
No.
is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley.
It's gonna be ass
I'm going to be
anyways.
ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley?
I
Are you
didn't
proud?
mean to.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the
Motherfucker.
bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Ah, fine. All right. What's the joke? Let's hear it. Oh.
What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point. A dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone.
Come on,
Now the
man.
timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think...
No, please don't make
I
me
need
watch
to
that
go
fucking
back
video
and
again.
rewatch that instructional video again.
No, please don't.
Yes, surely that will help me improve
No, please don't. Please don't.
Stanley, you
Oh.
love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes. Well, let me try that again, Stanley. I heard that you are pale with shame over how unabashedly in love with a bucket you are. No? Still not?
Damn. All right, let's try again. I'm about to just ditch the bucket.
The meeting room. Yes, that's where everyone would be.
I'm gonna skip the
Stanley
bucket.
just needed to get to the meeting room, and from
For a
then
good
on,
reason.
he would never be alone ever again.
For good reason. For good reason.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I'm gonna go to the
It was
place that had
okay.
no buckets allowed. It was okay.
But eager to get back
Crazy.
to business,
I love that
Stanley
room.
took the first open door on his left.
Nope.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Wait, was. Okay.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here.
No, it's not. It's
I'm
not
not
that.
your enemy,
It's not
really,
that.
I'm not.
It's
I
not
realize that
It's not
investing in
that.
your
I'm just-
trust
I'm
in
just
someone else can be
curious.
difficult, but the fact is that the
Person.
story has been about nothing but you all this time.
Okay.
Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want something bad to happen to you? What? I don't know how to convince you of this, but I really do want to help you, to show you something beautiful. Look,
Okay.
let me prove it. Let me
Oh.
prove that I'm on your... Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, you know, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini stands? Stanley figs? What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another
Okay.
Stanlerine under your belt.
Okay.
Now listen carefully, this is important. Stanley walked through the red door.
Which one? Which one? Right or left? Red or blue? Red or blue pill? Which one? He wants me to go through the red. I want to go through the blue, but at the same time, I want to be nice. I don't know what could happen here. Red or blue? Red or blue? Alright, well, it's taking too long.
Perhaps you misunderstood. Stanley walked through the red door.
Blue.
Okay, I go blue.
I still don't think we're communicating properly.
Red.
Oh, thank God you are willing to listen to me. Do you see that I really have wanted you to be happy all this time? The problem is all these choices. The two of us always trying to get somewhere that isn't here. Running and running and running, just the way you're doing right now. Don't you see that it's killing us, Stanley? I wanted to stop. We would both be so much happier if we just stopped. And I think I have a solution. Here, let me show you.
Aha. Okay.
What do we want? What are we looking for?
No clue.
Here. Yes. Oh, it's beautiful, isn't it? If we just stay right here, No, wait. Where are you going?
I don't know where I'm going. I'm kind of just going.
Stay away from those stairs. If you hurt yourself, if you die, the game will reset. We'll lose all of this. Please, no, Stanley, let me stay here. Don't take this from me. Please, Stanley, think about what you're doing.
Okay. What do I do? Fine. Oh my God.
Good, good. We can't be too safe. Promise me you won't go back there. Just stay here. No! What do we talk about? You're risking everything we achieved here. You heard me before, didn't you? You will die. What about this isn't getting through to you?
What do you mean? Nothing. Alright.
No!
Ah.
Thank God. You lived. No. No. What are you doing, Stanley? Please, I'm asking you not to take this away from me. I can't go back to what I was before. If you die, we'll both go back. Why are you doing this?
Oh, I feel bad, but I want to know. Oh, I'm just like, I'm curious and I just want to find out everything. Please.
Stanley, let's go back to the other room. Can you do that for me?
Dude. Oh, why is that actually like, I actually feel something.
My God. Is this really how much you dislike my game?
No.
You'll throw yourself from this platform over and over to be rude.
No.
You're literally willing to kill yourself to keep me from being happy.
I'm fucking with you.
Am I reading
Narrator,
this?
I'm fucking with you.
Perhaps you can. Perhaps you finally see what I'm talking about.
No, I don't, but it's fine. It's just wonderful.
I know you'll see. You'll see that we can't be happy if we leave this place. You can see that, can't you?
This is pretty nice, though. I don't have any way to get out of here, other than that. Alright, well.
It's pretty.
I mean, yeah, no, it's pretty, but there's no way out. That's like, this is quite literally the only way out. Like, I feel like shit. I feel bad, but I have to.
Lol.
There's no more commentary.
No, perhaps not.
Wait, let's see. Oh, I thought he was gonna say something else. Yeah, I could not stand to be in that room for that long. Alright, well, my legs are done for. To be honest, I didn't even know there was like a platform you jumped off at the end. But I'm not seeing any other way out.
Or maybe you're just getting a kick out of it. I don't know anymore.
Oh my god.
I just wanted us to get along. But I guess that was too much to ask. It looks like you wanted to make a choice after all. Well, this one is yours.
Oh my god. Don't do that. Oh. I feel bad, but there's no way to like get out of it.
Is it over? It's going to restart, isn't it? I'm going back.
Is it gonna restart back to the... Yeah, no, what?
Just a step through this door, Stanley thought to himself. That's all I
It's
need.
not that bad.
If I can make it through this door... Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled.
Alright, got the
He'd
bucket.
never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh shit. How can we find them? I don't know. Trying to find them. Oh, yes!
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket.
No.
You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy? It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here. It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be, given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now, but you have to be strong. This is your bucket. This is your companion and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no. We're getting into name-calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk, that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons, but even this is worse than I had imagined. And wait, now the broom closet has the gall to imply that you and the bucket are not truly deep and lasting friends? That your relationship is purely superficial and convenient? That your life is so banal and meaningless that you'd feel the same sort of kinship towards any inanimate object which happened to lay in your path in an even partially enticing manner? Well, I never. Go on, Stanley. Lay into it. Really tell the broom closet off for its demeaning comments.
Yeah,
expand on the wide variety of experiences you and the bucket have shared together. Go through each of them point by point. Share your journal entries detailing the rich emotional landscape of your feelings for the bucket as they have changed and evolved over the years. Let him have it.
Get me out. It wasn't as funny as the other
Coming to
time.
a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked
we gotta go
upstairs to the
downstairs.
boss's office.
We gotta go downstairs.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss,
no,
admitting
please
he had
don't tell me
left
it's
his
gonna be
post
the
during
same
work
fucking
hours.
shit.
He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms.
Okay, it's
Am I crazy? He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort. And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's bucket, perhaps. How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. Now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was, of course, very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground. Oh, gracious,
oh shit,
he exclaimed. Without my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
oh my god,
Could it
come
truly
in
be?
bucket.
He rushed forward from room to
Oh,
room,
no.
passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special bucket.
Come to me, Stanley! Find me!
None of
He
these
had
are
to
my
find
bucket.
the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then
None of
suddenly,
these are my
froze
bucket.
dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
Oh no.
It was incredibly painful. Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh shit. I am the bucket.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She
Please
arose,
tell me I got
got
a
dressed,
bucket by
picked
myself.
up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked
She
to her
got a
place of
bucket
work.
too.
But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was.
I don't have a bucket.
This man had no bucket. Of course he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all
Oh
just
my
a
God.
video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize he'd forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backed it all the way to work.
Oh my god. Imagine a society where you find your bucket and you just believe that it's like guiding you through all your problems.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of two open
My
doors,
bucket.
he entered the door on his left.
My bucket? But what about my bucket? Trust the completionist instinct? There will be a reward for all of them? Oh, bet.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office. Okay,
There
I'm
it
going
is.
back to the name of these little Stanley figurines, and now I'm torn between Stanlerines and Figlies. What do you think, Stanley? What name
Stanlerines.
better encapsulates the intrinsic sense of happiness
Stanlerines.
that you get from seeing a small number in the corner of your screen go up by one? Let me sit on it. I'm sure it will come to me. The moment he entered his manager's office, Stanley froze in his tracks. Not a living soul anywhere. Could he really be all alone? This was too much for Stanley to take. Too much for any man to take. He fell to his knees, bursting into half moans, half sobs, the guttural retching of life from a man denied any hope, any reason to keep going. Here on the floor, he lay prone, paralyzed by fear for nearly a full hour. But when at last he began to move about and survey the situation, he found a keypad behind the boss's desk. What could it mean? Was it a sign of hope for Stanley's future? Alas, it was not. For although this keypad guarded the terrible secret of Stanley's past, it had been assigned a 4-digit code so devious and so random that no man could ever hope to guess it. 2845. Statistically, nearly impossible to guess blindly, ever. Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Okay. Oh, yeah,
You're
got
getting
it.
close now, Stanley. You've nearly gotten all of the Figler and Marines. Very soon, you'll collect the last one, and then the first number will equal the second number, and that will be it. We'll be different people by then. Different in the sense that we used to have none of them, and now we have them all. You can't go back to when you had no Figler and Marines. None of us can.
Okay. Oh, okay. All right.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read
What's in
Mind
the
Control
escape?
Facility. Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet
Dude,
his
where's my
violent
bucket,
death.
bro?
The door behind him was not shut. Stanley still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
But I don't have my bucket. It feels like it's all gonna be the same. I don't have my bucket.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it and realized he simply had too much to live for.
I just want my bucket, man.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world? But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery...
I don't even want to bother with the on option because I know how long that one takes.
Blackness, and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over? Yes. He had won. He had defeated the machine. Unshackled himself from someone else's command. Freedom was mere moments away.
My bucket.
And yet, even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved. Where had his co-workers gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Is
What
my
other
bucket
mysteries
on
did
the
this
other
strange
side?
building hold?
Probably not.
But as sunlight
probably just
streamed
like a
into the
normal
chamber,
ending.
he realized none of this mattered to him, for it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness. Perhaps his goal had not been to understand, but to let go. No longer would anyone tell him where to go, what to do, or how to feel. Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he
There's no
needed to
bucket,
know.
bruh.
It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open
What?
door.
There's no bucket, bruh.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his...
There's no bucket, so it wasn't a different ending. Give me my fucking
Stanley
bucket.
knew the office layout like the back of his hand. It was only a matter of time before he found the others, wherever they were.
Bucket, give me
the
that
good
shit.
old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket, off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright. God damn. I literally have like one more.
Oh, Stanley, can you feel it?
Nah,
The
I'm not
broom
gonna do
closet.
that again.
It wants the bucket.
Shut
You can
up.
feel that. Coming
Oh
to
my
a
God, shut up.
staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's
Wait.
office.
Yeah, I've already done the. Okay. Oh, wait, for some reason does it work? For some reason? Okay, doesn't work. Just making sure. Okay, maybe it'll be
Stepping
different.
into his manager's
with the
office,
bucket.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire
I
if
don't
not
even
for
know
the
the
soothing
passcode.
presence of the bucket.
2,
Even now,
1,
in his darkest
8,
of hours,
6,
did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark
5.
clouds
I've
of
already done
confusion and
6.
chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him?
The bucket is
Yes,
guiding me.
This is certainly the most logical explanation.
I don't know about logic. Okay, so where am I supposed to get this?
The elevator
understand
raced
marine?
downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
Okay.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read
No.
Mind Control Facility.
we're
Although
gonna do
this
escape.
passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the bucket would both meet a violent death. The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track. At this point, Stanley and the bucket were knowingly walking forward into a very painful death for each of them.
Let's do it, bucket. I'm ready. Let's do it, bucket. Let's see if it's any different with the bucket.
As the machine whirred into motion and Stanley and the bucket inched closer to their demise, Stanley reflected on how meaningless the bucket's warmth and comfort had turned out to be.
Wow.
To be sure, it puts the mind and the soul at ease to embrace the bucket, but what use is a sense of ease when you're about to be crushed to death? This is what Stanley thought to himself, and he sort of kicked himself for wasting so much time carrying a bucket everywhere. Farewell, Stanley.
Yeah.
Farewell, Stanley, cried the narrator, as Stanley and the bucket were led helplessly into the enormous metal jaws. In a single visceral instant, the bucket's life came to an end, as it was crushed violently to death.
The bucket? What about me?
It was a shame, the death of such a magnificent bucket. It's true that all buckets are radiant in their own way, but this one stood above the rest. It was a glorious bucket to behold.
About a bucket. The bucket. Okay, is this the same exhibit?
Can you see how arrogant it was for Stanley to take a bucket like this and to claim it for his own? Can you see the hubris that blinded him? Can you see that the bucket is far more noble than Stanley will ever be in his short life?
History on the buckets.
No man can own a bucket, and certainly not a bucket as dazzling to behold as this one. It is man who should kneel before the bucket.
The hanging bucket. Oh! Ah, I thought I was about to go into the infinite hole.
But there is something we can do. Something we can do together, you and I, that will right this terrible wrong.
Okay.
Let Stanley die. Let him be crushed by the machine. Don't reset the game. Don't give him another opportunity to run off with another beautiful bucket. We can save the world's buckets from their treatment as tools and implements if only we let Stanley die together. The bucket shall take its place as ruler, as leader, as commander of a new world, a new vision.
Hey! So she wants me dead and wants the bucket to live. That is crazy. That's insane. I didn't think I'd be overruled by a bucket.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked.
Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Is there like 3 more? There's more progress to this shit? Do I have to like complete it with the bucket? Is that what I'm supposed to do?
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Am I supposed to complete this one with the bucket in my hand? Let's see.
Oh, Stanley.
Nope.
Can you feel it? The broom closet.
Come
it
on,
wants
man.
the bucket. Coming
You're
to a
always saying
staircase.
it wants the
Stanley
bucket,
and the
but that's a
bucket
fucking
walked
lie. It
upstairs
doesn't want
to
the
the
bucket.
boss's
You're just
office.
making me want to fucking get rid of it. I don't want to get rid of it.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
I keep on forgetting
Even
the fucking
now,
code.
in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes. This is certainly the most logical explanation.
I'm gonna just try to complete it with the bucket in my hands. Maybe it'll be different.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Yeah, that's a good question.
These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Trust no one except
But
the
here
bucket.
was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content.
FR.
Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good.
Yeah, and the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True,
What?
it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty, until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a precious bucket in his arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Oh no.
Wait, Stanley thought to himself. Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped. Surely I was mistaken.
Huh. I'm gonna grab my bucket and check.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and distinction. No, the orders were still missing. For now.
Interesting. Okay.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Oh, Stanley, can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Why are they saying for now?
Stepping into his manager's office,
Shit.
Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Okay.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along?
What
Was
am I
the
missing
bucket
here?
guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
What am I missing here? 2, 8, 4, 5. I don't remember that, so I can just skip the dialogue, but... Oh, man. What am I missing? I'm missing, like, the one last figurine, and I'm also, like, not...
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Mind control facility.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Unless I'm
What
just
horrible
dick.
secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both
It could be
wondered to
just tripping dick,
themselves.
I'm not sure.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
I mean, it's different dialogue.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place?
Oh my
These
goodness.
questions raced furiously in Stanley's
Come on, let me
mind.
through. I got questions.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Me and my bucket, baby.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating,
Here's what we're
working,
gonna do.
all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this...
On.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds.
Birds.
Silly birds.
Birds.
The control buttons became active again.
Birds. Oh my god, birds.
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The
I
mind
love it.
controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh yeah, 100% happy. Okay. Back at it again. Oh my god.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room to check on his co-workers. He never functioned well by himself, and the embrace of an old friend, a weathered companionship that stands
what am
the
I
test
missing
of
here?
time.
What's the one
Stanley
thing I'm
clutched
missing?
the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Oh, okay, I think I got one.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge
No, I
was
think I
simply
got
the
one.
place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind.
The bucket was
The bucket
wrong.
was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back, and so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
No, we're not gonna do that. We're gonna do this. Trust the bucket. Always trust the bucket.
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find
What
this
the
place
fuck?
eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much.
Oh
It's
no.
this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh my god.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
I'm not gonna give up my bucket. I'm not gonna give up my fucking bucket. I refuse to give up my bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket.
No.
That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character.
No.
This is the Bucket Destroyer.
The bucket
I think it'll make a
destroyer?
wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
No.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye
No.
to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
No. Come on, there's gotta be something.
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you would see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits. What other object in this game can you even say that about? The Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this.
Okay,
not
the
gonna get
bucket
my
destroyer
bucket.
is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the bucket destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the
Not
fans what they
gonna
want. Hurry and...
It's not gonna fucking happen. No one's gonna get my fucking bucket. What the fuck?
The bucket destroyer. My prized creation. You had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now. Goodbye, new friend. For the moment in time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Yeah, fuck that thing. They wanted my bucket. Fuck no. I guess I have to go back down there and actually give it the bucket this time.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the... And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Oh, jeez. Bro, I just want the last one, bro. Where's it at?
Oh, good, Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually. You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, yes, that's what the fan... Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
There's gotta be like something destroyed.
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. Yes, it's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Fine, I'll give up the bucket.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree? Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
How many times do I gotta say goodbye?
Now listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the Bucket Destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer...
Okay, well, he won't take the bucket, so that's not an alternate ending. Yay.
No.
Why is there a phone ringing? Is it this one?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Okay. Future Happiness Foundation.
Not everyone is so lucky to have a bucket, but Stanley is a very lucky fellow.
I'm very lucky indeed.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest
I'm
and
trying to
entered the door on his left.
Oh, I'm trying to think of like an alternate ending, but I cannot think of shit. Maybe there's a figurine in the elevator or something. That's what I'm concluding to right now. Maybe we are the collectibles. Toilet. Large room with the stairs. Do something with stairs.
Birds.
Do something with stairs? Okay.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
There
And
it is.
The last Stiggly Wiggly. Savor this moment, Stanley. This is a real accomplishment. This is doing something just for the sake of doing it. Where so many people expect to be rewarded for the most trivial achievements, you've insisted that a job well done is its own reward. I would tell you that I'm proud of you for collecting them all, but that would be like a reward, and we can't have that. So, instead I'll just say, it's done. We're all done here. And now we can go to whatever the hell you were doing before you hunted for figurines.
Fair enough, fair enough, fair enough. Alright, well, what do I do now? Not exactly sure what I can do now. Elevator, maybe? Yeah, okay, well, it's not very helpful. There's like, oh wait, shit. Aha, okay. So is there 5 inputs I need to put? Alright, let's do this. Check all the computers.
Stanley, I'm sorry, but I have to put a pause on things. It's those figurines, those figglers. I haven't stopped thinking about them since you nabbed every last one. Wasn't it just the most intrinsically fulfilling moment of your entire life? Didn't it fill you to the brim with inner richness? Yes, I know we're supposed to be telling a story, but won't you please indulge me with one more trip back to the memory zone?
Back to the memory zone.
I would love nothing more than to revisit the figurines.
Seriously?
Just one more time.
When Stanley found the collectibles. Jesus.
here's where it all began. The first collectible. Back then, we had no idea of how many of them we'd find. Sure, it said 6 right there on the screen, but how could we know for certain? We were so innocent. We'll never be like that again, Stanley.
7 out of 6.
And here was a second Stanley. You found this one all on your own, just by poking around in the warehouse. You did that, Stanley. I'll be honest. Back then, I had no faith in you to find any of them, let alone 6. But you continue to surprise me in all sorts of mundane, unremarkable ways. Okay, let's do a little quiz. Which of these rooms was the room you found your third mini Stan? Can you remember?
This one.
No. The boss's bathroom was the 4th place you found a Stanley, not the 3rd.
God.
Well, I guess perhaps I shouldn't be surprised. Memories like these are so precious and so cherished that they all just sort of blend together, don't they? You know what? If the boss's bathroom feels like the 3rd place you found a collectible, then who am I to go making judgments?
Correct.
Let's see. What came next? Oh, yes, we found a Figley in this pink room.
No, we didn't.
I can't actually say I remember being in this room, but it's here in the memory zone, so it must have happened.
We did not find it in a pink room.
This was the 5th mini Stan, and this one was really something special. It was behind the boss's office. I remember it so clearly. In fact, because this one is particularly special to me, I made a little video to commemorate the occasion.
Oh my God, no.
Enjoy.
Jesus. What's that over there? It's mini Stan number 5. Oh my God.
Takes you back, doesn't it? I spent a lot of time making that video, but it was 8 minutes I wouldn't have spent on anything else.
It's kind of sad. Alright, one more.
And then, Stanley, then we came to the last collectible, the final figurine, right here, under the stairs. This memory is the most distinct and clear in my mind, perhaps because it was the one that happened more recently than all the others. Who can truly say how the mind works? All I know is that this is the moment where you picked up a Figley and I thought to myself, yes, that's all of them. They're all collected. It was a moment unlike any other. Except for the other moments picking up figurines, which it was exactly like.
Okay.
And then there was no more, because we've caught up to the present moment. Nothing left to do but move onward into the future. Goodbye, memory zone.
Okay.
No, I'm not done. I'm not ready to move on. Stop the loading screen. Isn't there some way we can stay here, keep enjoying these figurines? Let's just go backwards. We'll do the memory zone again from the opposite direction.
Oh, no.
See how that feels.
Look, man, there's a time.
Okay, yes, that spot under the stairs. I remember this.
There's a time.
I must say, of all the figurines we looked at in our initial tour of the memory zone, this one is the most distinct and clear in my mind. Let's keep going.
Man.
I want more.
There's a time that we gotta just move on and let go of the figurines.
And here's where I made that video. Don't you remember the video we watched?
Yeah, I remember the video. Okay.
Yes, I remember that video.
Open the fucking door, dude. What's wrong with you?
Still don't remember the pink room, Stanley. Still no memory.
You're
of this
going
one.
crazy.
Good room, though. A solid room.
It's not me. Oh my god.
These really were a treat to hunt down. You know, if there had been any kind of reward for finding all of these, it really would have neutered the intrinsic joy of collecting them. I'm very glad we resisted the temptation.
No, I'm not. I want a reward. Let's go over here. Oh, it's too late. Fuck. Oh my god.
This was our second Figley. Don't you remember? Yes, I remember it too. The past is truly a wonderful thing. Why does anyone ever choose to leave it? Keep going.
Oh my god, dude. You have an obsession.
This is it. The very first one we found in the exhibit where I introduced you to the Figlarines. Oh, I want more memories, Stanley. I want to keep going.
No.
What else is there? What came before this?
Stop. Just stop. I don't want to relive this anymore.
Look, it's the terrible new content that we were originally sold on. I remember hating it back then. But time does put a rosy filter on everything. Oh, yes, the two doors.
Oh
Who could have forgotten that? A classic memory, this one.
Oh, wow, yeah.
And before everything else, there was your office.
Oh, my god.
Is there anything else? Was there something that came before your office?
No.
There's something I feel I can remember. I can remember.
No.
I can remember.
Oh my god. Dude.
Yes, I'm remembering something now. I remember before this whole story got started. Back then I was different. I used to make big decisions. I was passionate. I was skeptical. I weighed each decision with profound thoughtfulness. And then somewhere along the way, I stopped making decisions. I became lazy. And I came up with a character named Stanley to do my thinking for me. He would make the decisions. He would decide which way to go. I would cheer him on as he collected figurines for no reason. Why did I invent Stanley? Was I lonely? Yes, perhaps that's it. Perhaps I needed to imagine I had companionship. And Stanley really did make for a wonderful companion, even if he was a fiction. But I suppose it's grown old. I want to think for myself again. I want to go back to how it used to be. Yes, I can be on my own again. I can do it. I'll be stronger this time. I'll take care of myself. I don't need Stanley anymore. Oh, but he truly was so much fun to play with. You know what? Since we're in the memory zone, how about one more good memory?
Are you
Let's
sure
go
it's
back
one
just once and give Stanley one more run of the office, and then I'll retire him for good. I did enjoy telling his story so very much. Okay, here we go. This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Oh, can we please skip this part? Oh my god. Okay, good. Dude. Holy shit.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley
boxes
decided
I
to go
ordered.
to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Oh, I can't even fucking input that anymore. All
It
the
takes a
boxes
lot of
I
humility
ordered.
to carry a bucket so magnificent. Stanley checked his ego and then proceeded onward.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. Still no one was here.
Reboot the game
Stanley
entirely.
needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever.
Okay. What does he mean by reboot?
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great.
Stanley cradled the bucket in a gentle embrace, protective yet delicate, assertive yet compassionate.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Wait a minute. When it says reboot completely, does that mean like closing the app?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Stanley's bucket, the only co-worker he would ever truly need.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
What does it mean by reboot the game entirely?
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Does that mean like closing the app and then reopening it? Is that what that means?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office. Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
God damn, I keep forgetting 248. 2845.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
I want to know what it means by like rebooting. Does that mean like closing the app entirely? Because then my stream would end.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I don't want to do.
Mind control facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
I'm trying to think. I'm really hoping.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
Bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery...
Okay, this better be the last time.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness.
Because I'm tired of the main story. I want to see the side stories, but at the same time I want to complete the game.
Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate. Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned.
Am I not
but
supposed
it was
to have the
one
bucket?
they lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support. What? Wait. What was
I think
happening?
I'm not supposed to have the bucket.
Why had the door stopped?
I don't know. I don't know how to progress this.